Hi creative friends, this is Soraya and thank you so much for being here. So I'm going to continue working in my cardboard book, but first I just wanted to show you this absolutely stunning piece of actually a paper towel that I used to mop up my ink on my desk. And just look at it. Now at first it looked like a Japanese paper, but then I added this little bit of gold here, and I swear to God, it actually reminds me of an Indian sari that I have, and I'm just so in love with it. So I was looking at it this morning, and what I did is I intentionally, now this was an accident, I spilled my ink on the desk and then I mopped it up, and then I thought, oh my goodness, you know what, I'm not going to waste this ink, I'm going to actually use it as collage. But then what I did is I made these pieces on purpose. So I said, you know what? I need a red piece with gold. I mean, of course, okay? I can't not have a red piece with a little bit of gold. And then I made a gold piece, and I used my paint over here, and this is a textile paint. Now I think you can only find it in Italy. It's a Primo brand, and I purchased it in Italy myself. I don't know if you can get it on Amazon or one of the craft stores, but it is actually textile paint. But I used that gold on here, and I mean, I am so ridiculously in love. And what I am going to do is I actually am going to use it in my Healing My Ancestral Trauma art journal, which I am going to come up with a name with you guys. I am going to come up with a name for this journal because I can't keep on calling it. It's a journal for healing my ancestral trauma. So I'm working on that. But I just thought, you know what? I am going to use these pieces of absolutely stunning, I mean stunning paper towel, but nobody knows that. Well, you guys know that, but you get what I mean. I mean, I am going to use these in my art journal, this art journal in particular. And the great thing is, I mean, I can cut it, I can crinkle it, I can just hot glue it, you know, I mean, I'm just so utterly excited about it. But I did want to talk about this in another sense, is that, so yesterday, I posted a video on the cross-pollination of ideas, and I talked about how when we work in different art journals and different projects and on different substrates, etc., the ideas and the art elements and you know just everything really, it migrates from one place to another place, and in that migrating it can stay the same, or it can morph, or it can you know, just change, adapt a little bit. You can keep a little bit, you can, you know, add something else to the mix. You can have a complete and utter transformation, but the seeds are still there. So there's just so many ways that this can happen. There's no way to predict it. It's really infinite, okay? And what I want to say is that this is a perfect example of how that cross-pollination of ideas led me to making this collage here. Okay, so basically I started working on these mini collages as a project, I don't know, 2 or 3 months ago. I made a couple of videos on it, and I was just doing it to learn. I did fall down the rabbit hole because it's so fun, you guys. It's addictive. And I learned a lot from it. And then 2 months or however long later, I decided to start on this journal. And I didn't start off this journal to heal my ancestral trauma. That's not why I started this journal, but I made another couple of videos about that, so I'm not going to go into that here. But I started using these mini collages as little kind of seeds of inspiration to make some of these pages. As you can see, I put them over here, and so on and so forth. But what I'm starting to do is, because of these mini collages, I am starting to look at collage in different ways. And I did a spread in Connie Solera's Painting the Feminine journal, where I made a lady and I posted it on my, like where I post all my pictures on YouTube. And I also made a video series on it. But the lady, like, her face was just so crazy, intensely powerful. And they were just pieces of collage, and I left them as they were. And I just loved it. So I started looking at collage in different ways. And then when I spilled the ink and I mopped it up with the paper towel, I instantly thought, you know what? I can turn this into collage. Now, maybe if this had happened like a year ago, I would have just mopped it up and thrown away the paper towel. Like maybe I wouldn't have thought, oh, I'm going to turn this into collage. And then this morning, I was like, well, this happened by accident. But now that I know that, I love this, I am going to, on purpose and very intentionally, I mixed up my alizarin crimson paint with, a little bit of cad red light, and I got the perfect, consistency and color and et cetera, et cetera. And then I dipped it in this mixture, and then I allowed it to dry, and the same with the gold. So I intentionally made this, but this was an accident that I truly believe is only possible because of all these cross-pollination of ideas, because I work on different things. So I'm sorry for that long song and dance, you guys, but I just want to keep on pointing out how important it is to work on different substrates and different art journals and different ideas. And I think honestly that Elizabeth Gilbert did talk about this in Big Magic, and what she was saying, and I totally agree with this. So while I talk about this, I'm going to work on this spread here. And what she said is that when she gets stuck creatively, what she does is she will do something that's completely different. And I think after she wrote like one of her books, she got very, very stuck. And what she ended up doing was gardening, I do believe. And she was just doing gardening just to be doing gardening, not to jumpstart her creativity. But what happened is she became so engrossed in gardening, and she learned so much from gardening, that her next book was called The Signature of Things, I believe. I did not read that book. But that book is about a lady who is a gardener, or a botanist. I don't know because I didn't read the book. But my point is, she was stuck creatively. She took up gardening, and then she, down the road, she wrote a book that incorporated all her gardening knowledge into that book. And that's like, to me, would be a cross-pollination of ideas. So do you see how that can work for any creative endeavor? It's not just art. But yeah, I just think it's so important. Like if you're creatively stuck, or even if you're not stuck, I'm not stuck right now, but I still work, from book to book, or, I do a still life, and then I do this, and then I do that. And it just is such a creative hotbed of like it's fertilizer. To use the gardening analogy, because the gardening analogy is a very good one, it's the fertilizer, and all these little ideas and elements, and the collage and the lines and the colors and this and that and whatever, those are all seeds. And once you put the fertilizer in there, those seeds can grow and they can bloom. And it's such an amazing thing. And you are never, never, never going to run out of inspiration and ideas and fertilizer, really. So yeah, you guys, this is my, plug for, hey, like work on different projects. There's nothing that says like, oh, you only have to work on one project and you have to see it to completion and blah, blah, blah. Because I think, sometimes there are negative connotations when people tend to go from thing to thing to thing. I just don't see it that way. And I love looking at pottery. Like I don't think I would ever be able to make pottery. I don't think I'm inclined that way. Like I know my limitations, but I love looking at pottery. Like it's something that I absolutely love. So yeah, like look at other things, explore different things. Like it could be scrapbooking. You know, like when I was pregnant, I stopped painting for obvious reasons, you know, because of the paints and just the fumes and stuff. But I took up scrapbooking. And then when I did start painting again, everything I learned in scrapbooking and everything I did in scrapbooking, it just like, you know, it just carried over. It's a migration of ideas. And yeah, it's just such an amazing realization. And you will never run out of ideas, like ever. And there's no way to predict how it's going to pan out. Like how the ideas are going to morph. And yeah, it's just so interesting. So I did manage to keep a little smidgen of that scrapbook paper, but I mean, you can't see the pattern at all. But you know, it makes me feel just a tad bit better. But you guys, I'm really loving this spread. Like I'm really liking the color palette. I really love this sun moon situation. I guess it's a moon because it is at night. So this is really funny story, but I think I was painting over Van Gogh's Starry Night, and I made a video series on it, and in the video series I kept on saying, oh, I think this is a sun, it's a sun, and it's very obviously it's Starry Night, it's very obviously a moon. But thing is that I love suns so much, I tend to turn everything into suns. Like even when it's so obviously a moon, in my mind I'm just creating like suns. It's really interesting. But you know, I go back to Connie's adage, love what you love. And I love moons too, don't get me wrong. So So I am really loving a lot of this, you guys. I think the main thing I love is, like I said, the moon here, and I'm loving the way it's bouncing off of this dress. And I don't know about the hair. I mean, there are parts of the hair that I really do like, but it is a bit busy, so I don't know. When I don't know about something, I just kind of leave it and say, well, I ask myself the question and hope that it resolves itself at some point, and generally it does. And one of the things I love doing, you guys, is just making up a story about what's going on the page. And I love the fact that she's like, has her eyes closed, and to me this could be like a memory or a dream, and this is the person in present time, but this could be from another dimension, so maybe the past or a memory or whatever. So I just make up all these little kind of stories, I guess, and it helps me kind of see where the page wants to go. So I think I am going to allow this to completely dry. And all I'm gonna do, honestly, is maybe like wait for it to completely dry naturally, and then maybe add another layer, like a little bit here and there on the faces. But I'm just gonna tighten everything up. Like I'm gonna use my pen. When I cleaned up my studio, I found these Pro markers. by Winsor & Newton, a black one and a dark red one. So these are totally awesome. It has a fine tip, and it also has a more like just a thicker tip as well. So yeah, I'm just gonna tighten things up in terms of the facial features. So this is the end of this particular series, working in the cardboard book of my abstract journal, but I will show you the end piece. Like, so when I work on another video, and I'll be like, oh, like this is the completed piece of this, but I don't think I'm going to make another video. It doesn't warrant another video. I'm just going to tighten all the facial features, etc. But I will show it to you guys. So anyways, you guys, if you've watched all the way to the end, thank you so much. And I hope the main takeaway from these past couple of videos is honestly the importance of working on different projects, either simultaneously or one after the other. Because there's just so much value to be gained from it in so many different ways. And from a creative aspect, the main reason to do that is because of this cross-pollination of ideas. It's like you will never run out of inspiration. You will never run out of ideas. It's craziness when you really start thinking about it, how it can morph. And because it's all your stuff, it's all in your own visual language. So it's not like you're never going to run out of ideas in your own visual language, if I can put it that way. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.